I'm back. I just finished Divine Rivals, and today is like, I don't know if you can tell, I'm outside. It's like the perfect rainy kind of like misty day out. Um, and so I'm in the mood to read. But it's time for the next book. I drew a list of books that I'm going to be reading. And that's in my Divine Rivals video. But the next one up is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this one. I feel I've talked about it for so long, and it's finally time for me to read it. I've just heard it's so delightful, and I would love to read from the perspective of an octopus. That's so cool. It's described as completely charming and an ultimate feel-good but deceptively sensitive debut about what it feels like to have love taken from you, only to find it again in the most unexpected places. Memorable and tender. So, well, I'm not going to waste much more time. I'm just going to dive straight into this. One thing I do want to say is I showed it in my book haul video, but the sprayed edges are like glorious, and then I just think this is the prettiest cover, so hopefully I'm gonna be so careful with this. I'm not gonna dog ear the pages, I'm not gonna break the spine, I'm gonna be so careful because I would love to display this one. But like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking. I just want to get reading and seeing how this is. So updates will definitely be coming soon. Okay, it's like 10 something. I've been reading a little bit. Bachelor in Paradise started tonight, so I was watching it, and then on commercial breaks, I would read the book. But I'm on page 61, and this is the first time I'm gonna sit down and read without a lot of breaks, because I would read, like I said, I would read, and then when the show would start back up, I'd watch again. But it was very on and off again, over and over. So I'm excited to just sit down and read it. Right now, I'm loving all the different POV shifts. My favorite are obviously the octopus, because duh, his name, I feel so bad for forgetting it. Marcellus. Obviously brilliant. Octopi are very smart, and it's also just kind of sad, because he talks about loneliness and being captive and all this stuff, and it's really sad to read about. And kind of calls into issue a lot of stuff with aquariums, but I don't know if there's we'll never know, but I don't know if there's consciouses Marcellus, because he's he's being treated as if he's a human just trapped in a octopus body. But I do want more. His POV sections are really short, it's about a page. Here's the last section he had, where it's literally just that page. But it's actually really sad. I didn't realize they only live for 4 years. And so he's been in captivity for all of those years, and each chapter starts with day 1307 of my captivity. So he breaks the whole thing. His whole thing is he breaks out of his enclosure and roams this aquarium at night, because even though it's dangerous, I think he has it was either 18 minutes or 13. I think it was 18 minutes to, he's figured this out based on when he starts reacting badly to the air. He has about 18 minutes to get back in his enclosure before he kind of passes out. And it's kind of sad that he has to go to these extreme measures just to get a little bit of freedom. Because he's trapped in this little enclosure. And he's I know they're feeding him the freeze-dried cheap fish, and he's it's not good. All this stuff, and it's he's aware of all this stuff, and he's aware of when they're he's the one time I get mussels is when they're trying to get me for medical stuff. So it's like he's aware of it. He just has no other option but to comply. But the little bit of freedom he gets is just roaming this empty aquarium at night. And so far, he has interacted with Tova. She cleans the aquarium at night. She's older. When I first read this description, I kind of glanced over it. I thought her son had just gone missing, but her son went missing 30 years ago. And he went missing when he's 18, so he would be, sorry, quick math, 30 plus 18, 48 years old, like 50, almost 50. That's like old. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, I'm going to get back to reading. Like I said, this will be the first time I'm going to get to just sit and read. So I'm excited for that. But updates to come. For the second day in a row, it's absolutely pouring. I don't know if you can see it this time. So I'm just sitting on my porch reading, and I've officially made it halfway. So that's exciting. One of the people that we're jumping between, his name's Cameron. Hold on a second. Are you able to tell how much it's raining? Oh, it's getting windier. I'm gonna move. But anyway, it really picked up. Okay, back to the story. One of the people that we're following, his name's Cameron. We are under the impression that his father is Tova's son. So he's out here looking for who his father is, and it's not who he's thinking it is. Sorry, my dog was inside. Anyway, that's really the only update. We don't get too much from the octopus perspective. And right now he's not helping with the mystery. He's just kind of like super smart and kind of judging everyone for how much smarter he is than them. So, like I said, not much going on, but it's very like literary fiction. We're just kind of looking at people and their relationships and that kind of stuff. It's not as plot driven right now, but I am really curious how this is gonna end. So while I'm enjoying kind of the literary fiction thing that's happening right now, I do want a little bit of plot, just because, like I said, I'm dying to know how things are gonna turn out. So sorry, this is craziness, but I'm going to get back to reading. Okay, I was just thinking about it, and her son died 30 years ago. Let's say that the son, I don't think it's possible for the son to be, oh, no, I'm wrong. Okay, never mind. I was like, saying died 30 years ago. If he was 18 when he died, then I was like, then the kid would have to be 12. But no, I'm wrong. The kid would be like 30. And the dad would be 48. So I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Never mind. Okay, so people are starting to put it together that he is her grandson. She now knows that her son had a girlfriend, like a girl that he was seeing. And she knows her name. She knows the name of the girl, but she doesn't know like Cameron's mom's name, so she hasn't put that together yet. But what's his name? Ethan? Yeah. Ethan knows, and I don't know if he's gonna tell her or not, but it's like 80% sure. But I mean, he doesn't have the confirmation, so that's why he doesn't want to like get her hopes up or anything. But I'm trying to think. The octopus knows for sure. The octopus has known since day one, and the octopus stole Cameron's ID to show her, so that way she'll see the ID and like because she knows Daphne's the mom, the girlfriend of her son. Sorry, there's so many different connections. And she knows like the last name, so the octopus is hoping that if she sees the ID, she'll put it together. Anyway, all of this to say, we're getting closer. I'm on 255. I have about 100 pages left. And it's been really satisfying as I read to watch the sprayed edges like keep going. So that's how much of the sprayed edges I have left. This is all red, but it's been really satisfying to watch the design like grow. So I've been really enjoying that, but we'll see if I get this finished. I'm wanting to get it finished today so that I can start my next one and hopefully have it finished before the trip, and then that leaves me 2 books to bring with me to the trip out of my 5. So hopefully I'll be able to get all 5 done by the time I'm coming home from Atlanta. So we'll see. I finished the book. It was super cute. I loved the ending. I got a little annoyed with Cameron? I think his name's Cameron. I got a little annoyed with Cameron at times just because like he kind of had like a victim mentality. Oops. And like played the victim in some scenarios where I'm like, and it didn't really ever seem to get, I mean, he kind of overcame it a little bit at the end, but I was just getting annoyed. I loved that she decided to stay in Sewell Bay, however you say it, and not move to the assisted living facility. So I was really happy about that. And part of that decision, I think, is that she found other people in her life who she felt like she could lean on, like her grandson, Ethan, some other people. My favorite part of the ending, however, was how she took Marcellus to the ocean and set him free right before like the end of his life, so that way he could have some freedom before he died. And that almost made me cry, especially because we get right after that, like we get a chapter from his perspective, and he says something. What does it say? I'm gonna find it. Humans, for the most part, you are dull and blundering, but occasionally you can be remarkably bright creatures. And the whole time that is used, like that phrase is used to describe the octopi. I only started to doubt myself because she wrote, like, she gives a lot of her notes on her research, and she says, like, science uses octopuses, but octopi is technically correct. I don't know. Anyway, that phrase was used to describe this creature right here. And I really like how they turned it back around at the end, kind of talking about, like, because she, like, had empathy and was super connected to nature and was just a really good person. She was, like, a remarkably bright creature. So, I really like this. I think I'm going to give it a 4.3. That feels good for me. I read it pretty quickly. But at some points I'd be like, kind of wanted things to speed up a little bit, just because like it was almost a miscommunication thing where like a lot of people would know this information, and I'm like, okay, why does no one just tell the people that matter? And I was getting annoyed. I also thought the octopus would play a bigger role in the book, but I am glad that she kept it very, like, real. Like, it's not like she was actually communicating with the octopus. It's just that the octopus was, like, really smart and is, like, okay, I'm gonna go and get the ID to try to show, like, that kind of thing, instead of, like, speaking to it or something. That would have felt kind of weird. But while I'm happy it was realistic, it also meant that, like, the octopus was, like, a very, very small part of the story. I mean, I guess, like, a lot of stuff wouldn't have happened if there hadn't been the octopus, but I kind of thought we would get a little bit more from his perspective, and I kind of thought he would play a bigger role than he did. So I am gonna stick with my 4.3 rating. I think that's pretty right on the head of where I'm feeling with this book. And now I'm gonna keep trekking on my reading list thing. I think my next one is One Dark Window, so I'm gonna get started with that.